Hello everyone and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
Hi everyone, my name is Catherine, and today we have an elementary level lesson for you.
That's right, today we are dealing with a house that is filled with different types of bugs.
Ew, bugs. Well, it's summertime, so it's not that uncommon, but not a pleasant thing to deal with.
That's right, so we're going to call an exterminator. So you might be asking yourself what that is, but before we explain, why don't you listen to the dialogue for the first time?
Hi, did you call for an exterminator?
Yes, thank goodness you're here. These bugs are driving us crazy.
What sort of pests are we dealing with?
We just bought this house and it is infected with just about everything. We have termites in the wood, cockroaches all over the place, and last night I saw a huge rat out in the backyard.
Well, there's nothing that we can't handle. I'll spray the floorboards and walls to get rid of the cockroaches, but the termites will be harder to get rid of. We will have to cover the entire house and fumigate it. Unfortunately, that means you will have to find a place to stay for the next 3 days.
No problem. Just get rid of the bugs.
All right, we're back. So now we have 6 keywords that we've chosen out for you. Let's take a look at those now on Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Well, Marco, you've already told our users the very first word. That would be exterminator. What is an exterminator? It's a person, right?
That's right, it's a person that has the job to exterminate or to delete or eliminate different types of bugs or pests.
So an exterminator's job is to kill bugs.
That's right.
And usually an exterminator comes to your home or your office to do this, right?
That's right. So maybe in your house you have a lot of different types of bugs. Maybe you have, spiders. So an exterminator will come and he will try to get rid of the spiders.
Great. So an exterminator, in a general sense, gets rid of pests. And pest is our next word.
That's right, a pest. Now, we're talking about bugs, and they can be considered a sort of pest.
Well, pest, though, is a more general term, right? So you can say pest about something like rats or mice.
That's right. So basically, some type of animal that is very annoying and also causes some sort of harm or danger.
Right, so there was a movie, if I remember correctly, in the 1990s. It was terrible, and it was called The Pest.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's all about this person who is very annoying. So you can even say an annoying person or a bothersome person is a pest.
That's right. You're such a pest. Okay, so obviously our home is filled with bugs, and that's what the person said, that it is infested.
Okay, so a place, like an office building, or like you said, Marco, a home, is infested if it is filled with something. And so infested means it's filled with something bad.
That's right. So in this case, the house is infested with bugs.
They're living upstairs, downstairs, in the basement, in the kitchen. They're everywhere.
That's right. And she said that they have termites in the wood.
All right, so termites are a special kind of bug that almost always live in wood, right?
That's right. They're little bugs that I think eat the wood. And this is why they're so dangerous, because they make the house weak, because they eat off all the wood that supports it.
So we can say the house fell down because it was infested with termites.
That's right, termites. And also we have a very common pest or a bug. We have cockroaches.
Ugh, I hate these, and they're everywhere this summer. Cockroaches come in different sizes. Some are big, some are small, but they're very, very strong bugs. They can live through anything.
That's right. They're small, usually brown, but sometimes I think you can see black cockroaches.
That's right. And they love to be near food and decaying things like garbage bins.
That's right. So a very common type of pest, cockroach. And in order to get rid of termites and cockroaches and all these types of bugs, we have to fumigate the house.
Okay, so this is one method that the exterminator uses to kill bugs. And like in the dialogue, when you fumigate a house, basically you fill the house with fumes or gases that kill bugs. So people, like you and me, we can't be in the house when that happens, right?
That's right. Actually, if you see an exterminator, he will always fumigate wearing a mask so he doesn't inhale those poisonous gas.
Right. So it's very dangerous for people, and you'll have to make sure you talk to your exterminator to make sure that the gases he's using aren't getting into your body.
That's right. Okay, so why don't we listen to the dialogue again, and we'll be back in a bit.
Hi, did you call for an exterminator?
Yes, thank goodness you're here. These bugs are driving us crazy.
What sort of pests are we dealing with?
We just bought this house, and it is infected with just about everything. We have termites in the wood, cockroaches all over the place, and last night I saw a huge rat out in the backyard.
Well, there's nothing that we can't handle. I'll spray the floorboards and walls to get rid of the cockroaches, but the termites will be harder to get rid of. We will have to cover the entire house and fumigate it. Unfortunately, that means you will have to find a place to stay for the next 3 days.
No problem. Just get rid of the bugs.
All right, so now we've chosen 3 key phrases for you on Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
Well, this first phrase comes from the very beginning of today's dialogue. The second person in the dialogue says, these bugs are driving us crazy. So to drive someone crazy.
Okay, so if you're driving someone crazy, it means that you're making them crazy.
All right, so it could be you're making them angry or you're making them frustrated, but it has nothing to do with cars, right?
Yeah, there's no driving involved.
So driving here means making. You're making me crazy. You're really making me frustrated.
That's right. So in this case, the animals, the bugs were driving them crazy. They were so annoying that they were very irritated.
So I could do something, Marco, that will drive you crazy. I could tap, 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 tap.
That's
no?
right. That's driving me crazy.
Does it annoy you?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll stop so it doesn't drive you crazy anymore.
That's right. Okay. So now, obviously, bugs are driving them crazy. And she went on to explain that it's because the house is infested with just about everything.
Well, this is a great phrase because we can say it in a lot of different contexts. In this context, it means there is not everything, every single bug in the house, but just about everything. That means almost every bug you can think of is in this house.
That's right. So it's kind of a way of exaggerating also, because obviously, well, they have cockroaches, they have termites, but they're saying we have a lot of different types of bugs. We have just about everything that you can imagine.
You could even say, this restaurant has just about every Chinese dish you could ever think of. Mm-hmm. That's not true. It doesn't have every single one, but it has a lot.
That's right. Okay, so that's the way that you use just about everything. And for our final phrase, we used it a little bit earlier on. Let's explain it a little bit. When we're talking about bugs, we want to get rid of bugs. This is why we call the exterminator, to get rid of the cockroaches.
You might hear this phrase a lot when you're watching movies about gangsters or mobsters like The Sopranos, the TV show. Get rid of him, right? So this is a phrase that means, in this case, to kill something or to kill someone, to get rid of it, to get rid of him.
To not have it anymore.
Right. So rid means to get away or to throw away. Mm-hmm. But in this case, you're not just throwing it away, you're killing these bugs.
That's right. So we want to get rid of the bugs. Now, obviously, as you said, we can also throw away. For example, these shoes are too old. I'm going to get rid of them.
Or, hey, Marco, this milk smells funny. Can you get rid of it?
Mm-hmm. Very good. So that's the way that you would use that phrase, to get rid of something. So why don't we listen to our dialogue for the very last time, and we're back to talk a little bit more.
Hi, did you call for an exterminator?
Yes, thank goodness you're here. These bugs are driving us crazy.
What sort of pests are we dealing with?
We just bought this house, and it is infected with just about everything. We have termites in the wood, cockroaches all over the place, and last night I saw a huge rat out in the backyard.
Well, there's nothing that we can't handle. I'll spray the floorboards and walls to get rid of the cockroaches, but the termites will be harder to get rid of. We will have to cover the entire house and fumigate it. Unfortunately, that means you will have to find a place to stay for the next 3 days.
No problem. Just get rid of the bugs.
So bugs. Everyone loves bugs, right?
I don't know. I'm actually okay with termites or, for example, cockroaches. They're a little bit weird, but I actually really dislike spiders.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're okay with cockroaches, but spiders make you nervous.
Yeah. Spiders are...
Well, the thing is, the spiders can actually hurt you.
That's right.
And cockroaches generally cannot. They're gross. They're dirty.
Mm-hmm.
But spiders, there are very, very many kinds of dangerous spiders out there that are poisonous.
That's right. So, for example, termites, nothing's going to happen. Or cockroaches,
Well,
they're nasty.
not unless your house, is weakened by hundreds of millions of termites.
That's right. But, for example, I think other people have snakes sometimes as pests because they live in areas that have a lot of snakes or mice because snakes are attracted by mice.
That's right. So some people keep cats for that reason. They want the cats, especially on farms, the cats to catch the mice or to scare the snakes away. But I don't really have a problem with snakes or spiders, but I do have a problem with scorpions.
Oh, scorpions.
If you live close to a desert or a very dry area, scorpions, they really scare me.
I've seen on, I think, Discovery Channel that in Australia they're very common. And so not only scorpions, but also spiders. So whenever you put your shoes on, you have to check that there's nothing in it.
That's right. Also, shower drains. Where the water goes down the hole in the shower. Oftentimes you get things like scorpions in the desert areas that come out of the drains.
Really? Oh, wow. That looks like something from a horror movie or something.
Yeah, and all of a sudden you're in the shower and there's pests coming out of the
that's
drains.
nasty.
Terrifying.
All right, so a lot of different types of kind of scary bugs and pests, but we would like to know if you've ever had an infestation in your home or what pests are you afraid of?
So let us know. Our website is englishpod.com. We hope to see you there.
All right, we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
A professional who kills pests. Exterminator. An annoying and harmful insect or animal. Pest. To spray with smoke or other chemicals. Fumigate. Not be able to deal with. Can't handle. Simply. Just.
Let's try that faster.
Simply. Just. An annoying and harmful insect or animal. Pest. A professional who kills pests. Exterminator. To spray with smoke or other chemicals. Fumigate. Not be able to deal with. Can't handle.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Exterminator. Can I get an exterminator to get rid of the wasps in our yard? Exterminator. I need to call an exterminator to take care of our termite problem. Exterminator. The exterminator came and sprayed the entire house, so it should be bug-free now. Pest. Our house is infested with all sorts of pests. It's horrible. Pest. Mosquitoes, termites, cockroaches, rats, and fleas are all considered pests. Pest. He's a pest. He annoys everyone he comes in contact with. Fumigate. If you have cockroaches in your home, you should fumigate it. Fumigate. You shouldn't stay in your apartment when you fumigate it. It's bad for your health. Fumigate. She's staying with us for a few days because the exterminator is fumigating her house. Can't handle. There is a large workload. I can't handle it. Can't handle. He's really good at fixing computers. No matter how complicated the problem is, there's nothing he can't handle. Can't handle. I can't handle any more criticism. Just. I don't care what you have to do. Just take care of the problem. Just. Stop making excuses and just finish your work. Just. When you're done, you can just leave everything on the table, and I'll clean it up.
Hello everyone and welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we're talking about one of our favorite subjects, food.
That's right, and on this occasion we are going to talk about Chinese food, specifically stir fry.
Okay, this is a common dish in America and all over the world, thanks to the many Cantonese people who came over from Hong Kong or southern China and brought these delicious foods to our cities. So this is a very popular dish you'll be learning more about. So let's jump right in and listen to today's dialogue. And don't be worried if you don't understand everything. We'll be back in a moment.
Oh man, I had the best supper last night. My wife made a stir fry and it was amazing.
I love stir fry. Crispy bite-sized vegetables covered in a mixture of soy sauce and oyster sauce. Wilted greens and fresh bean sprouts. Throw in some onion and garlic and ginger. It's almost lunchtime. I would die for a plate of stir fry right now.
Well, you can keep the vegetables. I'll take the meat. The stir fry my wife made was really hearty, with chunks of beef and slivers of bell peppers and onion.
What? You call that a stir fry? More meat than vegetables? That's the worst insult you could throw at a Chinese stir fry. What a disgrace to the wok she fried it in. What you had is equivalent to a fajita without the wrap.
All right, we're back. So you probably heard a lot of different vegetables and ingredients in this dish. So why don't we take a look at some of those now in language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
The first two phrases that we have, actually, they're not words, they're phrases, are the names of sauces that are very, very important to Chinese food. The first one is soy sauce.
Okay, soy sauce. And it's this black sauce, right? And it's
Very
made,
salty.
Very salty. And it's made from?
Soybeans.
Soybeans, okay.
Soy. So soy is a bean, a vegetable product, but soy sauce is a thin, black, salty sauce.
Okay, and it's very, very common to use it with Chinese dishes especially. It's very related. You usually have sushi with soy sauce.
Exactly. So Japanese food use a lot of this too.
All right, and the other sauce that's not very common in our countries is oyster sauce.
Okay, an oyster is an animal that lives in the sea. It lives in a shell, and we often eat oysters as a dish. But oyster sauce is stinky, thick, dark sauce that is very popular in Southeast Asian, so Vietnamese food as well, and Chinese food.
Okay. So it's part of the ingredients of Chinese food. It's really good. It smells terrible,
It's
but
stinky.
But when you mix it with food and you cook it, it adds a very, very good flavor.
Absolutely.
All right, so that's the sauces. Now, apart from sauces, we have some vegetables, and some of those are bean sprouts.
Bean sprouts are very common vegetables, especially in Asian food. So you see a lot of these. They're usually almost white, almost clear, and they're crunchy. And they have a little green part at the end.
Right, so they're like little straws with a little green point at the end.
So usually those go into your dish at the very end because they cook quickly. Bean sprouts.
Okay. Now, if you're cooking stir fry, what you need is the correct tools. And the main tool that you need is a wok.
That's right. So a wok is actually a word that we take from, I think, Cantonese. I'm not positive. I don't speak Cantonese. But in English, we normally say frying pan.
Okay.
But this is a special Asian frying pan that's very, very large and very thin. So foods cook quickly in a wok.
Okay, and it's not like the other pans where it has a big flat part. It's very, very round all over.
That's right. It's almost like a bowl that sits on your stove and you cook quickly in a wok.
All right, so that's a wok. And, well, the guy compared his stir fry to a fajita. Now, fajita, that's not Chinese.
And it's not English.
Okay.
Well, it is English now. It's actually the name of a food from Latin America. So South America and Mexico and Central America. I think more Mexican than anything. And it's like slivers of meat, so thin strips of meat and vegetables that you eat in a tortilla bread almost. The tortilla is very thin corn or flour pancake.
Yeah, so that's a fajita. It's kind of, you've probably seen it, a fajita or maybe what's commonly known as well as a burrito, which actually is also an American invention. I don't think that exists in Mexico.
No, but they are delicious. I think the word is Tex-Mex.
Yeah,
Texas
Tex-Mex.
Mexican, so Tex-Mex.
All right. So that's what we have for you on language takeaway. Why don't we go back to our dialogue, listen to it again, and we'll be back shortly. Oh man, I had the best supper last night. My wife made a stir fry and it was amazing.
I love stir fry. Crispy bite-sized vegetables covered in a mixture of soy sauce and oyster sauce. Wilted greens and fresh bean sprouts. Throw in some onion and garlic and ginger. It's almost lunchtime. I would die for a plate of stir fry right now.
Well, you can keep the vegetables. I'll take the meat. The stir fry my wife made was really hearty, with chunks of beef and slivers of bell peppers and onion.
What? You call that a stir fry? More meat than vegetables? That's the worst insult you could throw at a Chinese stir fry. What a disgrace to the wok she fried it in. What you had is equivalent to a fajita without the wrap.
All right, we're back. So now I think we should take a look at some of those phrases that were used in this dialogue in Fluency Builder.
Fluency builder.
The first phrase we have in Fluency Builder is a phrase that you will hear very often when you watch cooking shows. So this is a term we say throw in, to throw in.
Okay, so throw in some vegetables or throw in some onion and garlic, and that means to just put it into the pan, put it into the pot.
That's right, but it's very general or casual or easy. You just add some. If you want to be specific, we can say, please add 1 cup chopped onion. Okay, 1 cup of chopped onion. But here's throw in just means add casually.
Okay, add some onion. So we throw in all of these ingredients and it sounds so delicious that the guy says, I would die for a plate of stir fry right about now.
So that means he wants some stir fry. I would die for is a good thing. It's a way to say I really want some.
It's an exaggeration. It's not like you would actually die for it or you are dying to eat it. It's just that it's an exaggeration means that you really, really want it.
I would die for a new car. My car is old and it never really works.
All right, so you really want a new car. Okay. And, well, the guy obviously didn't really like what he was talking about and how he cooked this stir fry. And he said, what a disgrace to the wok she fried it in.
Okay, this is a way to say that something is bad. It's embarrassing. So we can say that this food is a disgrace to Chinese food because Chinese food is one way, but this doesn't even look like Chinese food.
So a disgrace. So the word disgrace, it means that something is bad.
Or embarrassing to something
Embarrassing.
else. So a parent can say, you're a disgrace to this family. That means this family has a good reputation. But what you did, what you do, these are bad things. They make us look bad.
They're embarrassing.
They're embarrassing to us.
Okay.
So it's a very strong phrase. This is a disgrace.
Okay. A disgrace. Very good. A strong phrase, and you can use it if you ever want to talk about someone or something in this way. But remember, it is pretty strong, right?
Very.
If you say somebody's a disgrace, it's pretty insulting.
It's hurtful.
Okay. So why don't we listen to our dialogue for one last time, and we'll be back. Oh, man. I had the best supper last night. My wife made a stir fry, and it was amazing.
I love stir fry. Crispy bite-sized vegetables covered in a mixture of soy sauce and oyster sauce, wilted greens and fresh bean sprouts, throw in some onion and garlic and ginger. It's almost lunchtime. I would die for a plate of stir fry right now.
Well, you can keep the vegetables. I'll take the meat. The stir fry my wife made was really hearty, with chunks of beef and slivers of bell peppers and onion.
What? You call that a stir fry? More meat than vegetables? That's the worst insult you could throw at a Chinese stir fry. What a disgrace to the wok she fried it in. What you had is equivalent to a fajita without the wrap.
All right, so talking about Chinese food, there are a lot of American inventions around Chinese food as well, not only Mexican food. For example, it's very popular, this dish, chop suey.
That's right, chopped suey. And I think I read somewhere that chopped suey is actually might have been a Cantonese dish that came from all of the leftovers and kind of garbage in the kitchen where you would just fry it together and it was a cheap, easy meal. So chop suey.
Okay.
It's kind of like an English, it's like a pidgin English.
And, well, this dish is basically that, right? It's just a lot of meat chunks mixed with some vegetables, and you have some chop suey.
Exactly.
And there are also this other thing that's very common. People think about fortune cookies. You think of Chinese restaurants and Chinese food, you think of fortune cookies.
That's right, but they don't have fortune cookies in China.
No, they
One of my
don't.
biggest disappointments. So fortune cookie is a small cookie with a
Message inside.
So you have a piece of paper. So be careful when you're eating these. You don't want to eat the paper. But the paper sometimes says very strange things like, you will have a terrific number 7.
Right, or something like that. So that's why they're fortune cookies. They usually talk about your future or what's going to
Beware
happen.
of whales.
So, but that's also an American invention that doesn't exist in China. It doesn't really come from China, right?
Exactly.
All right. So if you have any other information about food, or we're always glad to hear it.
Because we're always hungry. Or if you have a favorite Chinese food, please let us know. Our website is englishpod.com. We can't wait to hear from you, and we will talk to you next time.
All right. Bye. Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we have an elementary level lesson for you. This is about fixing things.
That's right. So sometimes in our office or in our house, some small things may break, like maybe the door or the air conditioning. So in this case, we need to call a special guy to come and fix it.
So let's listen to today's dialogue, and we'll be back in a moment to talk about who this guy is.
The air conditioning is not working. We need to call a handyman before we start to fry in here.
Dan is on top of that. I think they are also getting the handyman to fix the bathroom toilet that keeps clogging up.
That would be convenient. They might as well ask him to fix the electrical wiring. The circuit breakers keep going out all the time. It's really annoying.
Yeah, you're right. This office is falling apart. Frank told me the other day that the gutters outside were clogged, and that's why the parking lot was flooded.
I know. I was in ankle-deep water trying to get to my car that day. The handyman definitely has his work cut out for him.
All right, we're back. So now let's take a look at some of those keywords and phrases on Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Our first word today is the name of this job. The person is called a handyman.
Okay, so that's a profession. You are a handyman. Now, what exactly does a handyman do?
Well, a handyman fixes things. He is usually a generalist. You know, he fixes things all over the house, not just the bathroom or the kitchen. So he can just fix things that are a little bit broken. But if, for example, your car it needs a new radiator or it needs a new important part, maybe you would take the car to someone who's more experienced with cars. But in the case of a handyman, if anything's broken, he can generally fix it.
Okay, so as Catherine explained, basically a handyman just does any type or many types of general work of things that may be broken around the house or the office.
We had a couple examples of these in today's dialogue, didn't we? What was that first one? Kind of gross.
Yeah, well, he had to fix the air conditioning, but then he also had to fix the bathroom toilet because it kept clogging up.
Okay, so a toilet gets clogged up. To clog up. What does this mean?
So it means that something is blocking the way of, the water being able to go out.
So the water doesn't go down.
Right.
And sometimes if the toilet is really clogged and someone tries to flush the toilet again, the water comes onto the floor and it's very dirty and very gross.
That's right. So actually, maybe sometimes in the kitchen, pieces of food may fall into the sink and it may clog up the sink.
Okay, so to clog up means to block or to get in the way of.
That's right. And apart from the toilets being clogged up, he also may have to take a look at the circuit breakers.
All right, so this is not about water or about plumbing. Circuit breakers have to do with electricity. And in this case, that box in your apartment or near your apartment that controls the different circuits. So sometimes if the lights go out, pew,
Right.
You know that you have to check the circuit breaker and make sure that the circuits are all working properly.
That's right. So the circuit breakers are kind of like a protection from too much electricity, and that's why they go out. And now for our final word on language takeaway, something that also got clogged up at their office, we're talking about the gutters.
All right, so many people's houses have gutters, or sometimes an office building will have gutters. These are trays on the roof of a house or a building that will catch the water when it rains. Because, sometimes rainwater can be very, very heavy. And it's dangerous on your house, on the roof of your house, because it can hurt the roof. But if it comes into this gutter, into this little tray, then it will come down and fall on the ground. So these are a way to protect your roof. But these often get clogged up with leaves and with garbage.
That's right. So they're like small little ways or little roads, if you want to call them, where the water can go and escape and go into a specific place. We have them on the sides of roads as well many times.
So gutters you find on the ground. Sometimes you find them on the roof of a house, but those are a little bit different. The gutters on the ground are basically pathways for water to come down. Because if there's no gutter, then all of the water is on the road and it can flood very quickly.
That's right.
And so this is a way for the water and even the garbage to go on the side of the road and not be in the way of the cars.
That's right. You see them on highways and roads very often because you don't want the road filled with water. So these gutters are a small path where all the water will fall into it and escape safely from the highway.
That's right.
All right, so that's all the time we have for language takeaway. Why don't we go back, have another listen to the dialogue, and we'll be back soon with Fluency Builder.
The air conditioning is not working. We need to call a handyman before we start to fry in here.
Dan is on top of that. I think they are also getting the handyman to fix the bathroom toilet that keeps clogging up.
That would be convenient. They might as well ask him to fix the electrical wiring. The circuit breakers keep going out all the time. It's really annoying.
Yeah, you're right. This office is falling apart. Frank told me the other day that the gutters outside were clogged, and that's why the parking lot was flooded.
I know. I was in ankle-deep water trying to get to my car that day. The handyman definitely has his work cut out for him.
Now let's take a look at 3 key phrases on Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
Well, this first phrase is a phrase that I like to use, and I do use it very often. We heard that Dan is on top of that. All right, so we need to call a handyman in here, and he says, nope, Dan is on top of that. So to be on top of something, what does it mean?
Well, when she says Dan is on top of that, she's basically saying Dan is taking care of this, or Dan is already calling the handyman to come and fix it. So you are aware of the problem and you're trying to solve it.
Okay, so don't worry. You don't have to call the handyman. Dan is on top of that. Dan will call him.
Right.
So to be on top of something is to make sure that something is done. So you could say, Marco, I really, I hope you stay on top of that project because it's very important.
Right. Or don't worry, the report will be finished on time. I am on top of that.
Great.
All right, now moving on to our next phrase. They were talking about all the problems that this office has, and the person said, well, they might as well ask the handyman to also fix the electrical wiring.
Okay, so this phrase "might as well" it's kind of hard to understand, I think, sometimes. Basically, what the speaker is saying is that while he is doing this, he can also do something else. Mm-hmm. Okay, so he's here. He can fix many things. He might as well also fix the electrical wiring.
Right, so taking advantage of the fact that you are already doing something or you are already here, you can start doing something else as well.
Or maybe we could say this in a different context, like, we're going to order a pizza for lunch. You know what, Marco? Might as well order 2 because there are so many people here. Right.
So taking advantage of the fact that we are ordering pizza, we might as well get more for everyone. Okay, and for our last phrase, when they mentioned all the work that has to be done, they said the handyman definitely has his work cut out for him.
Okay, so if someone has his work cut out for him, it means that he has a lot of work to do.
That's right.
You can also say this to someone that you're talking to. So Marco's writing a book. And I say, hey, Marco, that's a really long book you're writing. It looks like you really have your work cut out for you.
That's right. Or maybe this project is really difficult. I really have my work cut out. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're basically saying I have a very hard time ahead of me. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's all the phrases we have for you. Why don't we have a listen to our dialogue one last time?
The air conditioning is not working. We need to call a handyman before we start to fry in here.
Dan is on top of that. I think they are also getting the handyman to fix the bathroom toilet that keeps clogging up.
That would be convenient. They might as well ask him to fix the electrical wiring. The circuit breakers keep going out all the time. It's really annoying.
Yeah, you're right. This office is falling apart. Frank told me the other day that the gutters outside were clogged, and that's why the parking lot was flooded.
I know. I was in ankle-deep water trying to get to my car that day. The handyman definitely has his work cut out for him.
So a handyman is also commonly referred to as a jack of all trades.
That's right. So these are both kind of funny words. First of all, handy as an adjective means useful or helpful.
So maybe a hammer is a handy tool.
It's a very handy tool. Or, I find my iPhone has some very handy applications. I can use the dictionary.
Right.
So a handyman is someone who's helpful. He can do many things. But a jack of all trades is very special because it means he is a person that can do basically any job.
Right. So sometimes in offices, people may have someone that they may refer to as a jack of all trades. So he may fix the computers. He also knows a little bit about marketing and does many odd and random things around the office.
That's right. You could say my friend Paul, he's a jack of all trades. He can fix a car. He can cook. He can, fix a door or a window, but he can also sew. So he's a jack of all trades. He has many, many skills.
That's right. And talking about these skills, being a handyman is not a profession per se. It's actually a trade.
That's right. And so we say this because it's something that you normally do with your hands, and you don't have to go to university to study it. You maybe have an apprenticeship where you study by working. And it's one of a few very, very important trades like being a plumber or an electrician. But a handyman is more general. Like we said, you can do many different things.
That's right. So very interesting. There are many trades out there. Maybe you can come on the site and mention some of these that you may know. Like, for example, a very well-known trade is a cobbler, a person that
makes shoes, right?
Makes shoes or
it's a very
fixes
weird
shoes.
word, though, because
Yeah.
shoes and cobbler don't seem to have much to do with each other. Yeah.
Well, many trades like this. I know before there used to be blacksmiths.
We hope to see you guys there. Bye. Everyone.
Commonly. Commonly. Example. People commonly use smartphones for communication nowadays. She commonly visits the local library to borrow books. Communicate. 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 Example. They used sign language to communicate with each other. She communicated her ideas through a well-written email. Communication. 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 Example. Effective communication is essential for building strong relationships. She studied communication theory in her college course. Community. 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 Example. They actively participated in community events and volunteer work. She felt a sense of belonging to her local community. Company. 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 Example. He works for a software company as a programmer. She started her own company after years of planning. Compare. 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 Example. He likes to compare prices before making a purchase. She compared different options to choose the best one. Comparison. 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 Example. He made a detailed comparison of the two products' features. She drew a comparison between the two novels' writing styles. Compete. 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 Example. He trained hard to compete in the upcoming marathon. She competed against skilled opponents in the chess tournament. Competition. 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 Example. They entered the cooking competition and showcased their culinary skills. She won first place in the singing competition. Competitive. 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 Example. He has a competitive nature and always strives to be the best. She enjoys playing competitive sports like tennis and soccer. Complain. 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 Example. He complained about the slow service at the restaurant. She complained to the landlord about the noisy neighbors. Complaint. 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 Example. He filed a complaint with the customer service department. She listened to the customer's complaint and offered a solution. Complete. 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 Example. He completed the project ahead of schedule. She completed her homework before going to bed. Completely. 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 Example. The room was completely empty after they moved out. She completely forgot about the meeting and missed it. Complex. 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 Example. The math problem was too complex for him to solve. She wrote a complex algorithm to solve the puzzle. Complicate. 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 Example. He tends to complicate matters by overthinking. She didn't want to complicate their friendship by confessing her feelings. Complicated. 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 Example. Their relationship became complicated after the argument. She had a complicated schedule with overlapping commitments. Computer. 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 Example. He used a computer to write his research paper. She bought a new computer for her graphic design work. Concentrate. 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 Example. He found it hard to concentrate with all the noise in the room. She closed her eyes to concentrate on her meditation. Concentrate on. Concentrate on. Concentrate on. Example. He needed to concentrate on his studies for the upcoming exam. She advised him to concentrate on his strengths and work on them. Concentration. 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 Example. He had excellent concentration during intense focus sessions. She lacked concentration due to distractions in the environment. Concept. 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 Example. He explained the concept of gravity to the students. She came up with a unique concept for her art installation. Concern. 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 Example. He expressed concern about the environmental impact of the project. She had a genuine concern for the well-being of her family. Concerned. 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 Example. They were concerned about her health and well-being. She was concerned about the increasing crime rate in her neighborhood. Concerning. 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 Example. They had a meeting concerning the upcoming event. She wrote an email concerning the change in schedule. Concert. 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 Example. He bought tickets to the upcoming concert of his favorite band. She performed a piano solo at the school concert. Conclude. 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 Example. They concluded the meeting with a summary of the main points. She concluded her speech by thanking everyone for their support. Conclusion. 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 Example. He drew a logical conclusion based on the available evidence. She reached the conclusion that it was time to move on. Concrete. 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 Example. They poured concrete to create a sturdy foundation for the building. She had a concrete plan for her business expansion. Condition. 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 Example. He checked the condition of the car before buying it. She kept her books in good condition by handling them carefully. Conduct. 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 Example. He conducted an experiment to test his hypothesis. She conducted a survey to gather feedback from the participants. Conference. 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 Example. He attended an international conference on climate change. She presented her research at a scientific conference. Confidence. 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 Example. He had confidence in his abilities and believed in himself. She gained confidence through practice and hard work. Confident. 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 Example. He felt confident about the outcome of the negotiation. She approached the interview with a confident attitude. Confidently. 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 Example. He spoke confidently in front of the large audience. She walked confidently into the room, ready to take on the challenge. Confine. 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 Example. They confined the dog to the backyard using a fence. She felt confined in the small room with no windows. Confined. 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 Example. He was confined to bed rest after the surgery. She felt confined by the strict rules of the institution. Confirm. 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 Example. He called to confirm his appointment with the doctor. She received an email to confirm her flight reservation. Conflict. 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 Example. They had a conflict of interest regarding the project. She tried to resolve the conflict between her friends. Confront. 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 Example. He decided to confront his colleague about the issue. She confronted her fears and stepped out of her comfort zone. Confuse. 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 Example. The instructions were unclear and confused him. She tried to explain the concept again, hoping not to confuse her students. Confused. 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 Example. He felt confused about which direction to take. She looked at the map with a confused expression on her face. Confusing. 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 Example. The professor's explanation was confusing and hard to follow. She found the user interface of the new software confusing. Confusion. 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 Example. There was confusion among the audience about the event's schedule. She experienced confusion when faced with conflicting information. Congratulate. 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 Example. He congratulated her on winning the award. She called to congratulate her friend on the promotion. Congratulation. 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 Example. He received many congratulations for his achievements. She sent a heartfelt congratulation to the newlyweds. Congress. 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 Example. He attended a congress on environmental sustainability. She participated in the annual Congress of Scientists. Connect. 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 Example. He used a cable to connect the computer to the monitor. She connected with old friends through social media. Connected. 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 Example. He felt connected to nature while hiking in the mountains. She had a strong network of connected professionals in her field. Connection. 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 Example. He established a strong connection with his new colleague. She lost her internet connection during the storm. Conscious. 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 Example. He made a conscious effort to improve his eating habits. She was conscious of the impact her words could have on others. Consequence. 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 Example. He understood the consequences of his actions. She faced the consequences of her decision. Conservative. 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 Example. He holds conservative views on political and social issues. She dressed in a conservative manner for the formal event. Consider. 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 Example. He asked her to consider his proposal before making a decision. She considered different options before choosing a career path. Considerable. 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 Example. He had considerable experience in the field of finance. She made a considerable effort to meet the deadline. Considerably. 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 Example. The price of the product was reduced considerably. She felt considerably better after taking the medicine. Consideration. 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 Example. He took her feelings into consideration before making a comment. She appreciated the consideration shown by her colleagues. Consist. 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 Example. The team consists of experienced professionals. Her daily routine consists of exercise, work, and family time. Consist of. Consist of. Consist of. Example. The salad consists of lettuce, tomatoes, and cucumbers. The committee consists of representatives from different departments. Constant. 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 Example. He faced constant challenges in his job. She provided constant support to her friends. Constantly. 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 Example. He was constantly checking his phone for updates. She was constantly busy with her work and personal commitments. Construct. 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 Example. He helped construct the new building. She used Lego blocks to construct a model of a house. Construction. 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 Example. He worked in construction, building houses. She observed the construction of a bridge with interest. Consult. 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 Example. He consulted a lawyer for legal advice. She consulted her doctor about her health concerns. Consumer. 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 Example. He is a smart consumer who compares prices before making a purchase. She studied consumer behavior for her marketing research. Contact. 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 Example. He lost his phone contacts when he dropped his phone in water. She added her new colleague's email to her contact list. Contain. 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 Example. The box contained a variety of toys. The report contains detailed information about the project. Container. 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 Example. He stored the leftovers in a plastic container. She packed her belongings in a moving container. Contemporary. 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 Example. He enjoys reading contemporary novels. She visited a contemporary art exhibition. Content. 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 Example. He published new content on his blog regularly. She created engaging content for her social media followers. Contest. 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 Example. He participated in a photography contest and won first place. She entered a singing contest and impressed the judges. Context. 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 Example. He didn't understand the joke because he was unaware of the context. She provided the historical context for the events described in the book. Continent. Continent.